So for our program, what we said is that one, we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to expand the offering and the availability of our career coach program into other schools and into counties that we're currently not serving. So out of our 75 counties, currently we are in 54 counties. It is our goal that we will at some point be in all 75 counties. So this is a way we thought we would be able to better meet that goal. And then beyond that, the intention of the project is to provide an opportunity for students to have a pathway to going into some of our what we consider to be high demand, high wage careers that we're currently not seeing at the rate that we would like to see for some of our identified populations that we're going to be serving in this grant. So for our purposes, the pathways that we have chosen are ag power, structural and technical systems, construction, and teaching and training. So again, we were very intentional that when we looked at schools that we wanted to partner with, then we also looked at the pathways or programs of study that they were offering to make sure that we would be able to support students as they move through those pathways, to be able to engage in what the career connected high school model considers to be the 4 keys to success. So those 4 keys that have been identified through this program as unlocking career success for students are career guidance and navigation, dual enrollment, workforce credentials, and work-based learning. So for the purposes of our grants, again, we were going to leverage what we were already doing with our career coach program. So if you are not familiar, I want to just give a very quick update and overview of what the career coach program is and what it's designed to do. So our career coach program is designed to begin working with students typically at the 8th grade, because that's usually where career development is offered. But if your school is offering career development at an earlier year, say 7th grade, then career coaches will begin working with them at that point. And the program is designed that they're working in partnership with those career development teachers as they're working on student success plans to help students to be informed as they're moving through the process. So not only are students taking assessments during those grades, but career coaches are then coming in and helping them to understand, what does this assessment mean? So if an assessment comes back and says, okay, it looks like that you are interested in careers that fall under realistic or artistic or social, students get an opportunity to really understand, what does that mean for them? And what are those careers that they are interested in that align to what has been identified as an interest area, whether or not they have the knowledge or skill base at that point. What is it going to take for them to get those additional steps? So then each year thereafter, the career coach is responsible for doing that follow-up to make sure that whatever information is embedded into that student success plan is revisited each year to make sure that it remains relevant for students. So if their needs or interest changes, then that success plan is going to change with it. But if it's not changing, then they're providing opportunities for them to be able to build off of what they've identified. So if they say that I want to go into agriculture, and have they had opportunities to really understand what are all the facets of agriculture, and getting an opportunity to being exposed to work-based learning opportunities, certifications that can help them to better be prepared to go into that field. And then what are post-secondary opportunities that would allow them to go into that career field and find a high wage career. So currently, the way the program is designed, our career coaches are employees of our post-secondary partners. In most of those cases, it's going to be a 2-year institution. And then those career coaches are assigned to high schools that are working in partnership with those post-secondary institutions. So the post-secondary institution has the responsibility of being involved in the hiring process of that. In our traditional career coach program, they are also responsible for making up the match for the salary and benefits. But for the purpose of this grant, the funding is slightly different, and we will talk about that in a little bit. So for the schools that we have identified, our partner school districts will be Earl, Marble Lane, Mineral Springs, Cattle Hills, Magnolia, Fort Smith, Northside, Southside, and Monticello. And as I mentioned before, we are wanting to maintain an already established model that we have determined that works well, where the post-secondary partner serves as the host site. So they are responsible for hiring the career coach. They're responsible for assigning someone from the campus to be the day-to-day responsibility for supervising that position and being that liaison between the post-secondary institution and the high school. So then as we get to dual enrollment, so that's something that we know that we're constantly working on in our state. How do we kind of balance that between students being very interested in engaging in their AP courses, but then understanding the power and benefit of being involved in dual enrollment? And what we're finding is that some students have figured out that benefit that, oh, I can have an opportunity to reduce the amount of costs that I'm going to have to incur when I go to post-secondary because I can take a lot of those college credits while I'm still in high school. It gives them an opportunity to understand what's expected to them when they get to post-secondary, but not all students are understanding that and doing it at the rate of their peers. So that's also a part of this project, is that we will be working with post-secondary partners to broaden and increase opportunities for students to be able to enroll in dual enrollment. When I get to the budget section, we have built-in funding to help offset costs beyond tuition for students that would be interested in doing dual enrollment. So all that is a part of the project also. Then as it relates to workforce credentials, dual reason, one, under Perkins, that's one of our quality indicators that we've agreed with the federal government that we will measure for our outcomes. And then also too, we just realized that there are some workforce credentials that industry has identified that if a student comes to us with this credential, that makes us more likely to be able to hire them, that makes them more likely to be able to be successful, and that makes them more likely in some cases to even be able to earn a higher salary or higher wage when they're coming in. So we are going to be working to make sure that students understand the value of that, providing the supports necessary through doing some additional externships and opportunities for our teachers to be able to understand the opportunities that are involved there. And this is also all a part of the project. And then last but not least, the last key for the 4 keys of success is work-based learning. So we know that if students have an opportunity to actually engage in work that is aligned to what they say they want to do, it is an educational tool that can help them to be able to know that, yes, I'm selecting the correct career path for me, or no, I don't want to do this when I grow up. So we know that there's value in that. We know there's also value in allowing students to be able to earn something for their work, whether it be wages or credit. And so as a part of this project, we will be promoting students to be able to have access to more work-based learning opportunities. And so those will be prescribed and outlined through guidance that's already created by DCTE. And we're looking at career practicum, in some cases internships, but we're more focused on JAG and pre-apprenticeship as being opportunities that students will be able to engage in to earn those work-based learning opportunities. So as I mentioned earlier on, there are some absolute priority considerations that we had to meet in order to qualify to be a good applicant. So the first was career connected high school. So we felt like we definitely met that through what we offer through the career coach program, because they're wanting, again, to have that career advising and navigation as a part. And we feel like our career coaches do a wonderful job at that. So we just built that into the project. The second absolute priority that we were able to meet was promoting equity and student access to educational resources and opportunities. So in the grant, what that spoke to is looking at populations of students that are attending your high schools and making some very intentional inroads on how you're going to increase the opportunities for them to be able to move through their secondary into post-secondary into workforce. So for the purposes of this grant, the populations that we said that we would target are our English learners, students that come from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and then students that have a disability. So going back to why I've asked Bonnie and Marianne to be on, this is the space that they work with quite a bit, and we partner quite often on some other pieces. And so we will again be partnering on this piece. Bonnie keeps trying to say, I don't recall volunteering for this, but you're volunteered, so you're a part of it. And then also rural communities. So USDOE itself had to agree that over 40% of the recipients of grants from the 25 million were going to commit to serving rural communities. And so that was one of the categories that we also wrote for.